What is going on, you guys? I hope you're all having an embraceful day. Today we're going to be replacing the passenger side axle on the TC, because if you guys have been keeping up with the videos, you guys will know I hit a ladder on the freeway and it ripped one of the boots on the passenger side. We have replaced the driver's side for the first time, but I didn't completely do it because I did have to end up taking it to a shop because I wasn't able to remove the axle for the second time, because I did install a AutoZone one and the vibration still kept on continuing. So I had to take it to a shop so they can actually fix it, and the fix was an OEM axle. But now we're going to be fixing the passenger side, try and attempt to fix the passenger side with this new OEM axle, which roughly cost me about 450 bucks, which is pretty expensive. But the passenger side is a little bit different than the driver's side because it does have an input shaft, and I'm hoping the input shaft is here as well on this box, the input shaft and the axle. So I mean, you would think, because it's 450, you would think they both come together, which I'm hoping they do. The only thing that I did have to pick up was this seal that's right here. I had to pick it up this morning because I'm not sure if there's a seal inside this box. So just in case, we'll have an extra seal that's right there. But we're gonna get started, start removing the passenger side axle. Hopefully everything goes smooth. Just a quick for some of you guys, a lot of people, when they try to remove the axle nut, they leave the wheels on the car, everything's on the floor, and they take the nut off. Usually what I do is I jack up the car first, and in order to get the wheels to stop spinning, I usually put a wood right here, push it against the seat, and it pushes the brake on there. It stops the wheels from spinning and allows you to take the nut off from the axle. The only thing different I see from this axle with the input shaft is that the S-pipe kind of gets in the way, so I think it'd be a lot easier to undo it from right here, from the flange here, and from the flange back here, and try and remove the S-pipe so I can get a little bit more room right here, so I can try and get the input shaft out from the transmission and get the rest of the axle out as well. So it looks like it's just going to be this bolt that's right here. It looks like there's another one right there. Total of 4, well, 2 for the bracket for the bearing, and then 2 that are holding the axle to the input shaft, it appears. So as you can tell, we removed the S-pipe and it clears so much room in order for you to like work around right here. So now we're going to remove the inner shaft with the remaining of the axle, get that taken care of, get it out of the transmission. So I'm trying to get the 4 screws that are holding onto the intermediate shaft to get the whole entire axle pulled out of the transmission, and it was giving me a really hard time, especially since I can't fit a breaker bar or anything like that. It's giving me a really hard time, so I made a trip down to Home Depot, gave me a reason to go buy a 3/8 drive. There you go. So I've been wanting to buy one of these for a very long time, and I guess today was the day. It gave me a reason to buy it. So I got the intermediate shaft taken off. As you guys can tell, this is the bracket that goes in there. A quick tip, I know I wasn't able to show you guys really good underneath the car, but this piece that goes onto the transmission or the block, whatever it's connected to, has like little pins that goes on the, you see where the bolt goes in, there's the pins. Originally I was trying to pry this up and push it all out together, but what kind of made it a lot easier was actually separating this piece with this piece, just hitting it with a couple taps with the hammer, separated these two pieces, and then I was able to slide this out. So this was like up to here, and I was able to wiggle out the rest of the intermediate shaft by hand. So just a quick tip for you guys if you guys are trying to take it out like that. Now whenever you're putting this back onto the new shaft, you gotta make sure, you see there's another little pin right there. On this one, on the new one as well, there's a little pin right there as well. You gotta make sure those line up as well. So I'm just gonna clean this up, and we're gonna put it into the other intermediate shaft, the new OEM one, and we're gonna get the axle installed back onto the car. Might as well, I guess I could show you. This is the old axle. As you guys can tell, this is where it ripped on the boot, right here and right here, cleanly off. Look at that. I mean, it still looks pretty good. I'm pretty sure I can still reuse this, clean it up, either get it refurbished or get it rebuilt or whatever, because I don't know how to put a new boot on here. I know maybe just get a new boot and then this zip tie type clamp, and then maybe that'll be good. Grease it back up. I don't know. Maybe I'll keep it just in case if something happens or anything like that. So I was going to slide this piece into the new axle before I put it in, but I think it's going to make it a lot easier if I install this first onto there, and then slide the axle in through here, the intermediate shaft through here. I mean, it's basically the same thing as trying to put the axle with this loose onto the axle, or the intermediate shaft, whatever you guys prefer calling it. Well, I guess it would be the intermediate shaft. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna bolt this up because I mean it's gonna be a lot better to access the bolts to tighten them down. And yeah, so I mean you could do either or. Slide this in, insert the axle with this loose on the axle, on the intermediate shaft. I mean, it's up to you. I guess it's your choice. I'm gonna install this first, and then we'll put the intermediate shaft in through here. So I got everything pretty much all buttoned up. The whole axle is installed, the axle nut, the whole tires, the wheels, everything's put back on together. Everything's tight. The last thing to do is I don't want to shine the light because there is a lot of bugs floating around, but we do have to fill in back the transmission with automatic transmission fluid, which is this thing. I guess I'll turn it on for you guys. I'm gonna try and do it real quick. It's this stuff right here, because when we pulled the axle out, of course, some was leaking, some of the transmission fluid was leaking. So we're gonna pour some more, just in case you guys didn't see it. This is what I'm pouring on there. My car is an automatic. I don't know what's the difference if you have to pour a different one if it's a manual, but I just measured it out in cups, which is what I'm gonna do right now. I'm just gonna pour it in here, get it all put back into the transmission, and we should be good to go. The car should be fully done. So that's pretty much it. That's how you change your passenger side axle. Surprisingly, the passenger side was a lot easier to do than the driver's side. Like, I was able to pull the axle with my bare hands, and on the driver's side I wasn't able to do it with my bare hands. I had to use a pry tool to try and take it out, and not even that. On the driver's side I was able to take it out the first time, but when I put the AutoZone axle on, I wasn't able to take it off the second time to put the OEM one. So it sucks that I had to pay to get the driver's side put in the OEM one, but at least I'm happy knowing that I was able to put the passenger side axle on there. And like I mentioned, the passenger side I feel is a lot easier to do than the driver's side. There is a little bit more bolts and whatnot, but I mean, overall I think the passenger side is a lot easier. So that's where I'm gonna end today's video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I am gonna go out and drive right now because I'm gonna go clean the underneath of the car, and that's pretty much it. I want to thank you guys so much for watching, guys. Thank you guys so much for your guys' support, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out and embrace yourself.